Welcome, Jenny. How's it going?
It's going.
What brings you in today?
Um, so a quick backstory to help get you started. My sister moved to North Carolina a couple years ago, and she has two daughters. And recently, she has gone through a divorce, which clearly has caused a lot of tension between her and her ex. But
Yeah.
also, we the family are starting to feel it. My niece is in town here where I live because her other grandparents also live here, and
Okay.
I haven't been able to see her this whole time she's been here, and I've just been kind of feeling down about it.
So your niece is really important to you,
Yes,
and you haven't been able to see her because of some family, maybe drama, we could say, almost.
yes.
Yeah. How old is she?
She's 10.
Okay. Yeah. And what do you like to do with her? How do you connect with your niece?
Um, Well, pretty much whatever she's liking to do at the time. I remember from when she was little to now, just things that make her happy. So lately she's been into obviously slime. She loves to make
Oh,
slime.
yeah. I guess that's a big thing these days, right?
Yes, she could tell you like the 20 different kinds of ways to make slime.
Wow. It's an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah,
But you enjoy that kind of her curiosity around that kind of stuff, and you like to get into that kind of stuff with her. Or?
definitely.
Cool.
You know,
Yeah.
I like to do things that make her happy because I know, especially right now, she's going through a hard time. So if I can, if I'm able to do something little to make her happy or feel special at the moment, that's what I want to do with her.
Yeah. How have you reached out to try and arrange some time with your niece?
Well, I haven't because her grandparents won't allow us to, and I say us because my parents also live here, so um, they won't let her come and get together with us.
So your niece's grandparents on her dad's side
Hmm.
are sort of blocking communication with
Yeah,
the rest of the family. But
yes,
but has it? So that must feel pretty cruddy to be on the receiving end of that.
most definitely.
Um, do you feel like uh, do you feel able to do you feel like how would you reach out to them if you wanted to? What would that look like?
I guess I could call them or text them.
Yeah.
um,
What would be stopping you from doing that?
I think I guess ultimately it's the rejection of them saying no.
So you fear that, or you have, yeah, some fears maybe around them being like, no way.
Yep.
And that would make me feel pretty crappy.
Hmm.
But uh, I'm going to prod a little further here. What would be so bad about being rejected by folks that maybe, yeah, what would be so bad about that?
Um, I guess it maybe would be the audio, the hearing of someone telling me no, um, which maybe turns it into reality. Whereas right now it's kind of almost it's not a reality because I haven't done it.
So as it stands, you can kind of like hope that there might be a yes, but
Yes,
if you ask and you get a no, then you know that there's a no. Or if you
exactly.
ask, you're going to get a response. Yeah. So that's a little scary.
Hmm. So I guess fear.
Do you uh how do you generally deal with how, how does it work when somebody says no to you in general? Is that something that you tend to avoid?
Um, I guess it maybe depends on the situation. Um, I'm sorry, can you say that again?
So yeah, so I kind of asked two questions at the same time there, so I apologize. Um, is reaching out and avoiding a no, a yes or no, is that a common thing for you to be
Okay.
avoiding?
Um, I would say maybe that I probably might avoid those on a more personal level than like say a professional level.
So when you're at work, you don't really have as much of a problem with just being like, okay, what's the deal with this?
Mhm.
Can we do this or not? Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you think's stopping you? What's the difference there for you?
I think it's definitely a more, I guess, intimate level of someone saying no when it comes to relationships or any more personal, I guess.
And
Scarier to me.
you feel like maybe it reflects on you more, like who you are more, because
Mhm.
yeah, maybe your identity, who you are, is caught up in these other people a little
Mhm.
bit more than at work, where it's a little bit more professional, cut and
Definitely
dry.
cut and dry.
Um, so so when you think about reaching out to have some time with your niece, um, do you think, I'm wondering if maybe the costs might, or the benefits might outweigh the costs sometimes. Like, in other words, we could go through a list of, you know, to do it or not to do it, and that we might find that the benefits of the possibility of getting to hang out with your niece might outweigh the costs of being rejected.
Mhm.
But sometimes, like, our thought patterns, our belief structures about the way we see things can get in the way of like what actually the way things are sometimes.
Mhm.
So one of the things we can do is we could actually go through, we're not going to do this now, but we could go through and say, okay, uh, this is a reason why maybe we should do it, this is a reason why not, and then we could think about that in a little bit more clear manner.
Mhm.
um, but maybe we'll come back to that at another time. um, so in general, do you find that, um, or are there other people in your life that you want to reach out to other than your niece? Is this, do you think there's other folks that you could relate to like your niece out there?
Um, I think maybe on a different level, but when it comes to dating or lack thereof, my dating, maybe what's stopping me there is the possibility of the no.
A similar, yeah, a similar thought structure, thought
Yeah.
belief pattern. Yeah. So maybe there's a situation where you might want to go on a date with somebody, but you might avoid seeking that out because
Mhm.
of some fear around rejection.
Mhm.
But what I'm just going to ask again, like from earlier, but what would be such a big deal about asking someone out on a date and being rejected?
The rejection, how it would make me feel. I guess second guess myself on a definitely personal level. And how do
And
you recover from that?
and I'm going to push a little further. So what would be so bad about second guessing yourself?
Um, maybe maybe doubting, was that the right guy? Was that the right time? Did I do the right thing? Did, you know, is he
So,
looking for something different? I don't know. Second guessing everything possible.
so it's like you're self-doubting almost there,
Hmm.
like setting yourself up for self-doubt.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm going to switch gears here for a second. And um, I wanted to do some part of this counseling is a mindfulness based approach. And working with some of these beliefs and thought patterns from a place of mindfulness means sort of taking a step back, to taking a step into the present moment.
Hmm.
We can get so caught up in the future and what could be. This guy's going to reject me, this is going to be bad, or this situation that I experienced was so bad, I don't want that to happen again. So we get so caught up in the past and the future that we often aren't present. And actually, the present moment is when we're going to be able to deal with some of these deeper fears, deeper patterns um, that are important if we're going to grow and be able to um, do what we need to do. So what I wanted to do was just take some time to do a little mindfulness training with you.
Okay.
And so we're going to do just a 3-minute breathing exercise. And so just I want you to get comfortable, make sure you're set and you're ready to sit for a couple minutes in stillness. So what
Okay.
we're just going to do is we're going to just completely relax our body with our back somewhat, a strong back, but just comfortable and a good position. And we're going to start to just focus on our breathing. So we'll take an in breath and then an out breath. Perfect. So breath is great because the breath is always in the present. So we can always access the breath no matter what. So we're going to just take 3 minutes and we're just going to watch our breathing. And invariably, thoughts are going to come up. Our mind is going to be loud, and that's okay. We'll just let it be, but we'll just whenever we can, we'll just return to the breath, and just for 3 minutes, and then after we'll just talk about what that was like.
Okay.
Ready?
Hmm.
Okay. So that was about 3 minutes. How was that for you?
It was good.
What thoughts or feelings came up for you during the 3 minutes?
At the beginning, my thoughts were kind of still going quite quickly, like
Yeah.
getting my homework done, making sure that my mom has a good birthday. Should I actually call my niece's grandparents? But then as time, moved on, I felt a calmer sense just overall in my body, and just was continuing to think about the breathing in and out, and definitely was kind of right there present.
That's amazing. That's great. So you started off, your mind was up here, and then kind of, that's great. That's really cool. Not everybody can get there that fast. So mindfulness, we can access that whenever we want. It's something that you can practice. That sounds like you already can slow your thinking down quite effectively, which is really good. But it could be something that you could incorporate into your life in a way that it could help with some of these thought patterns that are maybe stopping you from getting where you want to be. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these beliefs are just illusions, and they're just getting in the way. And it's not necessarily replacing that belief with another better belief, but mindfulness can give us that sort of peace to just step back and think about things maybe a little bit more rationally, or maybe just be present. That's all. Just being present. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. It's nothing too crazy. I just want you to take every day, take 1 minute of the day to do what we just did, and to sit or stand. That's fine too. Just be in a place that's where you can do that. And just come back to your breathing for just 1 minute. And I want you to pay attention to what's coming up during that, but also when you feel like most your thoughts are the craziest, what that experience is like when you're sitting, when you do a little breathing, do a little meditation. Does that make sense?
And only for 1 minute a day?
Just 1 minute a day. It could be right before you go to bed. It could be right when you wake up. It could be while you're having a sandwich. I really want you to think about it as just incorporating it into your life. You could be driving. I think that's fair, as long as you feel like you could just be breathing, paying attention to your breathing while you're driving safely. That's important. But yeah, it could be a part of your normal life, just not when you're like on the computer or like talking with people or something. It should be your own private experience, just to tune back in to that mindfulness phase. So I want you to try that, and then when I see you next time, we'll talk more about your niece and your fear around rejection and things like that. But it's been great talking to you today, and we'll touch base next time.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for everything.
Of course.